all. Good evening. Hello, Mrs. K, Mr. Lee, Jeff, Mods, MarkZ. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good to see everybody this evening. Hello, Blake. Hello, Cheryl. Hello, David. Intercessor. Aloha from Hawaii. Hello, Frank. Hello, Dedector. Mr. Peden, CA. Hello. Whoa, that just went. Where did it go? I saw Shell something and then no Shelly and then it was gone. Like 30 of you guys all at one time. Yes. I guess it's time to go back to being me. Although I've seen some really cool Snake Plissken memes today. Some like really cool Snake Plissken memes. So we will change that because pop culture seems lost on some. Most of you got it. Hello, PA. Casey, a little bit. We got a little more news tonight. Not a huge amount, but we got a little bit. Joseph, what's the question for methylene blue? Oh, brain fog. It does exceptionally good for that. Give me a minute and I'll get it up for you. I'll try to find it in the background. I do need to do this one first, but before we end this one, we will get to that one. Happy full beaver super moon. I do think that's funny. In a recent clinical trial this year, women who took 2.5 grams of collagen peptides daily for 8 weeks saw an average of 25% reduction in eye wrinkle depth, 9% improvement in skin elasticity, a 29% book in skin hydration, proving collagen can visibly strengthen and rejuvenate skin from within. So I use today's sponsor. You guys have heard me talk about them for a long time. BioTrust Ageless Multi-Collagen. Obsessed with results it's giving my skin. BioTrust Ageless Multi-Collagen helps supercharge my skin health using 5 premium types of collagen needed to help reduce wrinkles. Notice smoother skin, more elasticity, more hydration, fewer fine lines, and a youthful glow. Plus, it also helps improve joint health, bone strength, cognitive tissues, top of my skin health. On top of all that, hey, there's all kinds of studies now what it does for brain health as well. For a limited time, you can grab a bag of BioTrust Ageless Multi-Collagen for 51% off at healthwithmarkz.com. Plus, you'll also receive free VIP live health and fitness coaching for life, a free ebook titled 14 Foods for Amazing Skin, a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, and free express shipping with your order. Once again, that is healthwithmarkz.com. To the links in the description of YouTube and Rumble, if you want to take advantage of that deal. Dallas Town, PA is checked in. Now we can get rolling. Kukla to the rescue on the Mr. Heels link for that person that was looking. Booger, fortunately, that's still, smooth as a peach. I mean, if I were probably a Democrat, it'd probably be used a little more and a little more wrinkly from getting slapped around, but ooh, awkward. Anna, thank God I escaped from New York City a couple of years ago. Boy, I hate I missed that one. Hate I missed that one, Peden. Did I mention no whiskey and wisdom tonight, guys? We have put the kibosh on it. Zester is swamped, has some things he really needs to be focused on this evening. I will admit with the time change, because while it may not affect you guys as much, it really throws me a curve as I settle in. Mike has a buddy in town or whatever. So he had other plans. He was going to cancel them or delay them, but it just worked out better. Let's see. Hi, MarkZ and community. I'm watching you on a separate window, watching a show called Gacera Talk Show, claiming they will stay till the notifications arrive at Australia time. JC, I think they're going to cave before it happens. I mean, if they're like talking about like they say it's happening tonight, I hope they're right. Hope they're right, but that's just not what I'm hearing right now. Or I shouldn't say that. I'm not hearing it isn't. I'm just not hearing anything saying it is tonight. You guys are hilarious. I think that's an excellent idea. I think it's an excellent idea. Mountain Cold, your feelings are hurt. I don't want your feelings to be hurt. See, I heard that the VND has been approved to go. I had never heard that it wasn't approved to go. I've always heard that it was going at the same time. Mac, man, here lately I throw away most of the whiskey. I'm just gotten really bad. I did pour like a little splash this evening for this one because I felt bad for not being here for whiskey and wisdom. Lisa, one, I do not know the timing period. Nobody does. None of the gurus are out there telling you they know. No. But do I very much believe it's going this year? Yes, I do not think it's waiting until next year. THK, it's going to be okay. We're going to get through this one. Yeah, we got a few bones. We're going to get into it. Oh, God. I'm really trying not to comment on some of you all's comments. Y'all are awesome tonight. Y'all are on a rip. Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's, I didn't mean to hit that one. See, just saw Puerto Rico is updating the military base. Yes, Rabbit. They are updating. Well, they're doing a number of updates and changes. You can go to the Agudi Airport where they were positioning drones. Hampton Roads is in the middle of a major, very quick bring it back up to speed on the East Coast. Number of very interesting crafts at the Ponce Airport on the south side of the island. Is some very interesting stuff going on. Well, right now I'm kind of fond of JD Vance's comments for the day. Pete, I don't know. A while, we'll see. Adam, time to drink a whole bottle of moonshine and throw on that golden mankini. I don't think I could throw it on after that. Y'all are something today. Isn't that great? Rivard PJ and became great grandmother day. Baby girl Hazel Grace. What an awesome name. Congratulations, great grandma. Yeah, basically barbecue honcho. That's exactly. Chuck Schumer just said elections are over, so we can let the RV. Yeah, right. No, he did say, hey, now we can sit down and make SNAP benefits happen. Oh, rocking in Keys. Breaking out the green beans with bacon and caramelized onions to celebrate Jacera Nacera. All right, let's get to it. Patty, good plan. Let's hit the banner. It is close enough on time-wise. Look, we got an open MSN page. Let's go straight to Iraq. On the bond side, though, very quickly, guys, one of my contacts finally showed up that has been quiet. They have a meeting. Let's see, what is the date so I can make certain on these. No, I do not want to get this one wrong, guys. Do not want to get this one wrong. Tomorrow about 3 o'clock European time or Switzerland time. So I finally have a first conversation in days. It has been so painfully quiet. I should have the results of that one within an hour or two of their meeting. So that is, I finally did get an update. Their expectation was their final funding. We will see if that occurs. The one that still had the bank pending one, just gone, like off the face of the earth right now. So still chasing them. All right, let's keep going. because I knew a number of people were going to be asking that bond one. I just wanted to go ahead and hit that one. Government advisor. Nothing on banking personnel, nothing on redeeming folks, nothing on individual currencies. Government advisor, the central bank has made an amendment to the list of Iraqi banks to comply with external standards. I'm guessing these banks that are dealing with external standards are most likely going to be the banks that we will be able to use for, or they will be doing the exchange process for them, and possibly worldwide. So they are limiting the banks in compliance. Now, part of this is also for banks that will do loans for deals with international companies in Iraq. So they got an approved list of banks that have met their standards. But it is interesting because these are the same banks that would do international transfers if they were to do a value change. I think we finally have a hint here. I am trying to find a specific list of the banks and those approvals, so I can perhaps get a better idea of what banks internationally will be the ones we go to for best rates. So for me, I thought this one could possibly be a key article. I'll put it in there. You guys tear it apart. Make certain I am not just full of hopium on this one, but to me, it sounded like, hey, we're preparing for the international portion of this, and it is very important. Let me click that off just so it isn't distracting me. Iraq moves towards energy independence. Imports halted and export opportunities for petroleum products opened up. The move to be fully independent has moved far faster than we expected. They're already there. Over the next few years, they will increase their exports. So they went from spending tens of billions of dollars a year importing finished products. So they would create the raw material, or they would pump it out as crude oil, send it off, have it refined, bring it back. But now they're producing enough, and they are getting ready to start selling on the general market. I believe about $6 billion in income over the next year is what they expect in finished products. So that's on top of what they were normally doing. That doesn't count what they're saving. This is part of their white paper reform so that they can lift their purchasing power. Again, just part of the checklist. I want to keep bringing these in so that we can see that there is real measurable progress. We need real measurable progress. Rita, I do not know when the RV is going. Do I think there's a great chance? Do I think many of my sources believe it goes between the 5th and the 11th? I do believe that, but I don't know the timing. This one felt good saying, I know it's JP Morgan, not a lot of fans of JP Morgan, but JP Morgan discloses government probe into deep banking practices. Yeah, they let us know that administration and regulators have been reaching out individual cases and deep diving. This feels really good because we've heard that they're going to make all these changes. We've heard they're going to do all these things, and then we see nothing. We are seeing progress, and this is an absolute first where we can measure that they are keeping up with their promises. This administration is different than previous ones. It is not perfect, but this one to me is huge. So they are watching. They're talking about how they canceled them under, et cetera, but they are talking about the reviews, the investigation procedures, and what they have been requested for information. So it's truly happening. Trump drafting. Lewis would be happy about this one. Trump drafting an executive order on election integrity after alleging ballot fraud in California. Supposedly, we're going to get some receipts. Many in California have said that something doesn't sound right. Of course, just the ballot, having multiple places to vote for Mamdani, only one. Oh, no, that was New York. Back to California. Sorry, guys. There's been so many articles read today. It's starting to jumble up. But they're saying there was a lot of fraud, and especially in their mail-in system. Levitt, press secretary, told reporters it's absolutely true that there's fraud in California elections. It's just a fact. The unconscionable redistricting in California is a giant scam, and the entire process, in particular, the voting itself, is rigged. Trump wrote, all mail-in ballots where Republicans in that state are shut out is under very serious legal and criminal review, which I am very excited about. Cool lady, we always celebrate Armistice Day, always. So as we're watching this one play out, it does appear, or at least to me, that it was so over the top, that they were so desperate that they tipped their hat and left a lot of evidence on the table. This one is going to get interesting. I don't think Prop 50 is going to stand. I really don't. Between the election, the questionable election, we take in Bakersfield, some of the very, very conservative counties for California, and they somehow overwhelmingly voted for the redistricting, which would take their votes away. It makes no sense. It is illogical. So it has triggered this. Yeah, saying it isn't so. Loving this one. Schumer and Jeffries demand a meeting with Trump to end the record government shutdown. Yep. We write to demand a bipartisan meeting of legislative leaders to end the GOP shutdown of the federal government and decisively address the Republican health care crisis. Oh, it's a Republican health care crisis. Wait, wasn't the Affordable Care Act your legislation? Didn't you pass it without a single Republican? Didn't you put in for it to expire in 2025, parts of it for illegals? Isn't this exactly your bill, but somehow it is a Republican health crisis? Bite me, you lying bastard. Yes, I am. We are swear jar free today. So they ready to meet with Trump, meet you face to face, anytime, any place. Sounds really manly. It does. I mean, wow, Chuck, you are a manly dude. I would like to point out that Trump's been trying to meet with you for over a month, you and Mr. Jeffries, to talk about the budget and SNAP and healthcare and all those things, and you've refused to. But now that you've got your mayoral election and what you feel like is a win, even though it went exactly as predicted, now you suddenly demand a meeting. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would still take the meeting if I were Trump. I'd laugh all day long, and I would even laugh at him. I would even make it a point with the press there to say, now that you're demanding the meeting that I've been asking for a month, I hope you feel real manly. I mean, maybe you'll get a little hair on your sack or something. I don't know. This to me is such an absolute joke. We're going to demand a meeting. We're going to force him to come to the table when he's been asking you to meet for a month and a half. Just hilarious. Call him out. Don't let him get away with that. Call him out. Jonathan Turley doing an absolutely great breakdown of what we should take away from the results of the election. One, don't overthink it. Two, we do have a signaling problem or issue. Three, part of it is the Make America Great movement is really not about Republicans. It's about a lot of independents, a lot of Republicans, or I should say they're registered Republicans, but they don't really support the GOP. JD Vance saying, so they didn't come out. We lost a focus on making everything about the American worker, the American family. We started focusing on Venezuela, Iran, Israel, everything but Trump and MAGA ran on the kitchen table issues of the working class. And then they kind of lost their focus. And JD Vance simply saying, this is not a surprise. We kind of lost our focus. And they made the mistake of letting GOP run things more, or the old school, instead of sticking to their guns. So JD Vance, just being really upfront about what they need to do moving forward. Continue to focus on the working class and what it needs. The real needs, the real suffering, the real problems, and focus. And I thought this one was great. Jonathan does a great breakdown on it. Another one, just every time I turn around, there we go. Turn around. That was Steve Turley. Now we're going to run over here to Jonathan Turley. We're coming after you. How some on the left found peace through hate. One of my favorite pieces I have read in the past week or so. The lesson, they're talking about Shakespeare. They're talking about politics right now. And we are very guilty of it on the right as well. The lesson, the key to hate is to decouple it entirely from reason and reality. Only then can you hate completely without restraint or regret. Seems the far left has learned how to hate. Hateful speech is in vogue as Democrat leaders ramp up violent rhetoric and political violence rises. The key is to get voters to hate your opponent so much that they forget how much they dislike you. Meaning, have you had a conversation with your liberal friend they just hate? It's like Trump derangement syndrome. They hate it so much that it's okay to say things like about people like Charlie Kirk, or even when Trump, the near assassination miss when they shot his ear, it became, oh man, I'm sorry he missed, things like that. I mean, hateful, hateful things and examples were used. Um, Ron, I appreciate it, but I'm still not going over the top. I'm not comfortable going over the top on that one. But it's a great point. When you talk to folks on the left, they hate Trump. And then there's like, because of this. And you're like, because of why? And you're like, that's not reality. Well, I don't know. He just says meaningful things or hateful things. Well, what mean and hateful thing did he say? And then they can't give an example. They don't know. They just know they hate. So you have to disconnect that rage and that hate from any form of reality or common sense. And then you can get them to hate them so completely and irrationally that you can get them to do anything. And that is exactly what is happening right now. Logic is gone, reality is gone, reason is gone. All we know is that we hate. And then I have to ask myself, are we doing the same thing? I mean, I'm having a tough time feeling so bad for Cheney because of his record. I'm not going to do a dance or a jig because he passed. But I have to ask myself, are we becoming anything like the left here? And when I ask that question, guys, I'm not trying to impose thoughts or whatever on you. I'm openly asking that question because I want to guard against it. I don't want to be like those irrational people that only hate. My God says we're supposed to love everybody. It's awfully tough to love some of these characters, though. Awfully tough to love some of these characters. Budget swear jar night, let it rip. I appreciate you, Mr. Cantu. Rudy, always appreciate you. Surfer, wait till you find out Cheney was one of the orchestrators of 9/11. I very much believe he was. Very much believe he was. Yes, Rubes. Then they call you crazy, a lunatic, unfriend you, run, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it really is crazy. All right. Totally awesome. Mark, here's a tidbit. Saturday, I went to the bank, X, didn't name it, and asked for $3,600. They only gave me $3,000. I asked why. They said the bank is closing on the 11th of next month. Oh, wow. So they didn't have cash. Jemanuel, critical thinking's been gone for a while. It really has. But I did enjoy something. One of the things that JD Vance had noted that we'll call them conservatives, we'll call them make America great people. They are not the dyed in the wool folks. They're not going to continue to vote unless you continue to put their policies towards the front. In other words, what's important for them. His point was, and if you don't, they're not going to show up for you. And I think that is important, though. I mean, they get the left, it votes lockstep. It's arguably not smart enough to think for itself. That will offend a few people, but it's true. Just ask Harvard and their studies. You guys have a lower IQ. Don't look at me. Don't blame me. Don't tell me I'm trying to come forward with some superiority complex. I mean, Harvard said it. But it is true, though. Yeah, okay. Totally lost my train of thought on that one. Totally lost it. 11/11 would be a great one. Yeah, I have noticed when you're nice to hateful people, it gets them very upset. It's almost fun. I do not understand the level of discontent. From the moment Obama began to campaign, I could not watch the man. I couldn't stand to hear his voice either. Broke down and cried both when he won. It's tough. I didn't like him because of his policies. I didn't like him because, well, I didn't even know if he really existed. I mean, he was made for TV. Now, you go back to his history, you go back to people that supposedly went to school with him, and they're like, no, he wasn't in this class. I never saw him. And then when he presented an Ohio birth certificate, and then when it was questioned, then he presented a Hawaii one. I was like, which is it? Do you even know where you're from? And then when the lady came forward and said, I was the only person for Hawaii doing birth certificates, and that's not the right paper, the form, or my signature. That didn't happen. You just read it, and I'm just like, yeah, no. Made for TV. That's my opinion. Cognitive disobedience, just cognitive dissonance. We've heard it forever. Bonnie, happy birthday. Sir, laugh a lot. I would never be nice to someone that hates me. I'm nice to people that hate me all the time. Because I figure at the end, they get judged for it. I don't. Or you get judged for how you handle it. Now, reading some of these, you guys are on it. We have the most educated community, period. I believe that. All right, MC Evie, they've been grooming Mondami for 2014. They supposedly got what they want. We'll see how that one plays. I just hate as they play all these political games. We have people that truly need SNAP, need benefits that aren't getting them right now and are suffering. Unfortunately, we have a system that's so abused and taken advantage of it that my guess is maybe half the people need it. Same time, we got 42 million Americans that need it in order to eat and survive, supposedly. What does that say about the most prosperous country in the world? What does it say about the working class? I mean, you got 350 million people in the country. Over 10% of the people can't eat unless the government gives them a handout. What does that say about the most prosperous country in the world? It says a lot, and it's not positive. So how do we fix it structurally? How do we change these issues? One, reset our dollar. Reset our dollar, go asset backed. Inflation is not natural. Inflation is money correcting, or currency, or the free market correcting for poor fiscal policy. In other words, overprinting, etc., overspending. Inflation is a natural result. That is the free market correcting for overprinting and poor fiscal policy. And it's built in. It's supposed to be, it should not exist. In an asset-backed currency, inflation should not exist. Supply and demand should dictate, meaning if something changes, suddenly everybody wants this and there's only so much supply, or you oversupply, then the price should drop. It is simple market, fundamental market rules and principles. And they're broken because fiat, it's unnatural. Clean house, I'm with you. Clean house. Dami's opposing ICE arrest. That makes him a target for arrest from Trump. I think you're right, M. Blakeney. I don't think it's going to go well for them. But I do think it's going to create some tremendous opportunities, buying opportunities in New York. KMK, I have not seen all the Trump posts tonight. Feel free to bring them in. Yeah, we do. We love them all, even the grumpy ones. I wasn't actually referring to Grumpy on that one because of his name. I couldn't resist the little joke there. All right. No, it really is the best. D Rambo, but it really did work with cell phones. I know you're like, wait a minute. But a cell phone's $1,000. Cell phone used to be $1,000. The only difference is now it has exponentially more features. And if inflation had gone up, that same $1,000 phone from the 1990s, because of the inflation, should be costing you like $2,500 or $3,000, but it's not, is it? Still costing you about $1,000. So if you stop and think about the fact that their prices really haven't gone up much for a cell phone, as opposed to what everything else has gone up, Then suddenly you're going to go, supply and demand worked on that one. Texas Twin, I do believe it is part of the show. There were over 6 million people EBT before Biden, after 4 years Biden. It was trying to remember the exact numbers, Gary, but it was around 19 or about 19 million or so before him. He roughly doubled the numbers, if I remember. I don't have them in front of me, but it was roughly a doubling in those 4 years. I could be wrong. Fact check me, let me know. It was still a massive increase in numbers. Massive increase in numbers. Yeah. I'm out of popcorn. Let's end this thing. Mr. C is fine. I need to check on his brother. Mr. C is planning on being here on Friday, though. Now, I did like Kennedy today. Did you guys catch that? I'm not talking about Robert. I'm talking about Senator Kennedy. He said if the U.S. runs a deficit, if Congress, Senate runs a deficit, they should get minimum wage. If they can't pass a budget or there's government shutdown, they should not get paid at all. I was like, he is so spot on. Of course, he doesn't need the money. But I do. I love the idea. Love the idea. Government shutdown, you don't get paid. You can't balance the budget, you make minimum wage. You're a substandard employee. Rick, yeah, when is this movie over? I have to pee. Me too. Okay, what do you guys want to talk about? Anything? Yeah, I love that Kennedy Center. I am with you. He is awesome. If I ever found out he's by a guy, it's gonna shake my whole world. Gonna shake my whole world. There was that, guys. How did you like the riots today? Wait, what riots? Protests. The huge protests that were supposed to draw millions and millions and millions of people. They were going to surround the White House. And then within a day or two, they were going to surround Congress. Yeah, have you seen any pictures from it? I mean, the turnout wasn't like horrendous. I mean, there were plenty of old white people there. I mean, not a huge amount. The hilarious thing was the sign up table for Antifa. Or like one person sitting at it and nobody around it. It was kind of funny to watch. Riot Inc., which makes it even funnier because they're rioting over no kings. They're rioting over because a billionaire is in office. But meanwhile, it was funded by billionaires. It's just it. They assume we are all stupid, like too stupid to think. I think they're too stupid to think because clearly they're not thinking. Yeah, so will the government shutdown end when they vote for 17th time? Pammy K, most likely 3 Democrat senators have said that they are willing to jump ship now. Putting the numbers at 56 or 57 senators that have agreed to vote to end it, which is up from 55, 53, actually no, 54 I think was the last one. Let's see. What did White Wolf have to say? I heard that Trump may have gone to the hospital regarding potential heart attack. I have not heard anything like that, but that would be something to watch. Would be something to watch. You guys update me if you've heard anything. Thoughts on ending the filibuster? One, I think we need to keep the filibuster rule. I know that when you are in power or the majority, it's annoying and you don't want it. But I think the long term would be more damage. I think if the Republicans were better at messaging, this shutdown never would have happened. The clean continuing resolution bill would have passed. The Republican Party is horrendous at messaging and public relations in general. If they would have been out there in front of the people saying, hey, clean resolution, this is exactly what happened, when it happened, they should have been running ads. Democrats do it all the time. They do it through NGOs, groups, etc. They run ads, they run billboards, and they affect thinking. Republicans don't. They just assume everybody's supposed to be smart enough to see through it. And unfortunately, everybody's not smart enough to see through it. So they need to take kind of a PR educational approach and call it just factual. Put it right in front of the people. Don't let them get away with it. Don't let them spin it. Just like the comment from Schumer insisting that it's the Republican health care crisis when it is 100% a law that was passed by Democrats and only Democrats. 100% of the votes came from the Democratic side of the ticket. And it's the Republican health care crisis when it is over a bill they passed, like lockstep, just like Nancy Pelosi said, you got to pass it to find out what's in it. That's the bill that they're mad about, that they can't get more money for. Their bill, 100% the way they wrote it, they passed it. And it's the Republican healthcare crisis. Are they not out there getting ahead of it? I mean, there are plenty of folks trying to fight it. There's Benny Hills, the Glenn Beck's, the folks out there calling it out. The problem is, though, we are preaching to our choir. You guys are already listening to us. How do you get to the folks that are watching Whoopi? How do you get to the folks that are watching MSNBC? How do you get the folks watching CNN? How do you reach out to those people to show them the truth? We already get it. You get it. Glenn Beck's audience gets it. The old Rush Limbaugh, whoever those guys are now, they get it. Boy, we could use a damn Bongino back. Go watch videos from. I've watched it so many times. The parallels are unreal over the last number of years. Unreal. Jay Hart, good to see you in here this evening. Pet Pork's outlawed in New York City. Gonna fly over spreading bacon bits. The city that we thought would never forget, the 9/11 city, has forgotten. Mm-hmm. Oh, DJT just landed back in DC, so the thoughts of him running off to the hospital probably absolutely not based on fact. That's it. I think it is time to call it a wrap. No whiskey and wisdom tonight. I was hoping for more news, but we got more than we had this morning, so I'll take what we can get. Do have a meeting to keep an eye on that is at 3, and I do not know what that time difference is with the time change. I think it's the same. I think that's going to make it about 10 a.m. our time or 10 a.m. East Coast time. But I will keep you updated. I will give you an update tomorrow on that timing as well. Look forward to seeing you guys in the morning. Pretty normal Thursday night, Dr. Scott. Pretty normal Friday, etc. Look forward to seeing you guys. I'm going to do just that. Yes, ma'am. I will not disappoint on that front. All right, bud, go eat. See you guys. Good night.